or something. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey,
Hello.
and the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
What up, Dev?
And I'm your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's had a good Tuesday and a good week ahead of you. Before the stream began, thank you, Point Curation. Greta, evidence both sides use weaponized autism? Oh, well, you know, I wish I could say Greta would be a prime subject for us to talk about tonight, but instead, it's impeachment time, guys! Yay! Yay! It actually happened, or is happening, will be happening. I don't know. We'll get to that in a minute. But before that, Satsu, how are you?
Pretty good. Kind of tired, but pretty good. Squeeta's got her 1 month appointment tomorrow, and she is 1 month old today.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So we gotta take her to the doctor tomorrow to get her checked up and make sure that everything is good, and get Squishy checked out and make sure that she's healing properly. But yeah, she's my little girl is 1 month today.
Oh. Monkey, how are you?
Yeah. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Shaky, but good. Better than I have been the last couple of days, but I'm not going to complain. How you doing, Scribbles?
I'm doing okay. Thank you, Shia Gorath. It was me. I put the sexy in dyslexia. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I'm the work I had mentioned in the past that was oncoming at my work that would start draining my brain began today, and it certainly is draining my brain. And it's not going to be over with for, looks like, a month. Every day I'll be doing very tedious, long work wherein I have to quality assurance, as in scan through and correct when necessary, giant text files with 40,000 records on them at a shot. And there will be 11 of these things over the course of however long it takes. Yay! But anyway, hope you guys like the theme. Do you guys like the theme? I hope you like the theme.
Let me see it real quick. There's an ad playing actually on this video.
Yay! That means for at least 3 seconds, maybe I'll make 2 cents. Or a penny or something.
Not if I drop the in. Oh, wait. Oh,
No.
Lords of the... Oh, yeah, that's cool, dude.
Yeah, I thought I'd do something a little bit more epic this time around.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But
I'm on my way to look.
Okay. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button if you have not already. And please share our stuff. Say it all the time, but can't be said enough. YouTube quite literally does nothing anymore to promote channels that don't meet very particular criteria. And as you may have guessed, the three of us do not meet that criteria. So whether it's us or other content creators that you enjoy, sharing the stuff that you like with other people that you think might like it, or even those that you don't, is really the best way to help out any content creator that isn't a makeup channel or doing something entirely family friendly. Also, before we begin, I would like to direct everyone's special attention to the description. There are 2 fundraisers there that have been going on for some time and I think need a little bit more exposure and attention. Blind Press and Sean Uli both have fundraisers going for completely different things. Sean Uli's needing funds to get out of a nursing home and actually go home, which would be great. And Blind Press is raising money for her wedding, which is oncoming, I think, in the relatively near future. They're not asking for much in the long run of things. So if you guys happen to have any spare pennies you could throw their way, be completely appreciated by them, of course. And I know I would appreciate it on their behalf. So there's that too. And I'll remind again, maybe at the midpoint of the show, just in case anybody comes in late. But who would come in late? Because, everybody knows to come here on time. Everybody that cares, anyway. Which is all of you. Monkey, what do you think of the theme?
I like it. That's good.
Yeah. You see what the dragon is? YouTube.
Oh, I didn't know.
YouTube's the dragon.
Oh, is that what I saw the little YouTube thing up there. I couldn't tell what it was.
Yeah, head of the dragon because I'm a stinker. Well, anything else to cover before we get into the most amazing news of the day?
No.
Okay.
Nah, bro.
Well, guys, we were just talking about this, off and on for the last several weeks, months, whatever, but it's actually happened. Nancy Pelosi launches formal impeachment inquiry into Trump. So CNN has a running live blog updates thing, as they usually do with these kind of stories. So I will go over the summary of events, and then we'll go through some of the blog postings to see what they have to say. Here are the salient bullet points. A formal impeachment inquiry. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called out President Trump in announcing the formal inquiry, saying, quote, "The president must be held accountable. No one is above the law," unquote. Which harkens back to the whole Mueller hearing. Or just a very old phrase in itself.
Except undocumented immigrants.
Shh, Satsu. Stop it.
What, they are?
Trump pressed Ukraine's president in a call to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden's son, Hunter, a person familiar with the situation said. Trump asked his acting chief of staff to put a hold on millions in military aid to Ukraine roughly 1 week before the call, two senior administration officials said. Trump said he will release the unredacted transcript of his phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky tomorrow. The whistleblower complaint. The White House is preparing to release a mysterious whistleblower complaint, which includes allegations about Trump's conduct. So, why is this happening now? And on what basis are they putting it all? Well, that's the thing. It's all about the Ukraine deal, the full information of which we don't really have yet. So,
yeah.
Now, I haven't read the stories on this yet, guys, so I don't know if there's other details. But my first reaction when I read the initial sort of headlines was, impeachment inquiry begins based on the Ukrainian phone call. And I'm like, but what if the phone call turns out to be a nothing burger? You will have blown your only chance to do this with any credibility and not look like a complete jackass as a party.
I think they feel like jackasses already, so they're just like, can we get any more jackassy than we've already been?
Well, I'd like to say, I don't know. I don't know if there's something else going on here. I don't know if they have other information that the rest of us just don't have yet. But let's see. Behind closed doors, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi did not specify to her colleagues today precisely how the impeachment inquiry will play out or divvy up tasks for each of the committees to take on from here. In part, that's by design. Here's what you need to know about what happens next. What committees are involved? Each of the 6 committees, Judiciary, Intelligence, Ways and Means, Financial Services, Oversight, and Foreign Affairs, will continue with their investigations, looking at different elements of Trump's presidency, his past, and his businesses. These committees months ago already sorted out the different areas they are investigating, and many of the investigations are still charging ahead or their fights are tied up in court. If the Democrats decide to impeach Trump, the Democrats on these committees will each provide their input over what they believe should be included in articles of impeachment, which will be introduced by House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler. Although Pelosi will have the ultimate say on this. When would an impeachment vote happen? The House Judiciary Committee will consider the articles of impeachment resolution and schedule a vote on it. If it passes the House panel, then the full House is expected to take it up. If a majority of House members vote for the resolution, then the House will have impeached Trump. To convict the president and remove him from office, it would require support from a 2/3 majority of the Senate, a highly unlikely proposition. So in the end, what's changed? Not a whole lot, other than Pelosi formally endorsing an impeachment inquiry. But for the past couple of months, the House Judiciary Committee has made the case that it was already conducting an impeachment inquiry with the goal of deciding whether to vote on articles of impeachment. There will not be a separate vote to open up an impeachment inquiry, Democrats say. Pelosi would not give a time frame over this process, but she told her colleagues it would be done, quote, expeditiously, and Nadler has hoped to conclude it by the end of the year. So that's the first salvo of information. What are your guys' first thoughts?
My actual first thought on this is everybody's going to pick their teams and everybody's going to start cheering for them. And the truth is there's no win here for us as Americans. Either we're going to have a president impeached or we're going to have a Congress that looks like they're just petty shitbags. And there's no win in that. I think Pelosi's making a huge mistake here. Politically, she's making a very big mistake here because you can come in and you're going to drag this thing out. What they want to have it concluded by the end of the year. Okay.
That's going to be quick.
That means it goes to the Senate where they're going to have the hearing and the House has to go in there and it'll be a place where you don't have the numbers. You don't even have a majority, much less the 2/3 that you need. And you have to present your case that we're all already going to have seen and all of the opposition thereof. And you're going to end up looking like an ass.
Sorry, guys. My lights are on.
We saw what happened with the Clinton impeachment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happened? Even though he was impeached and not removed, Republicans got their asses. The Republican who let that happen got his ass kicked. Gingrich had to go away because of all of that.
Real quick.
She's doing this on the. Go ahead.
I thought you were pausing. It's Johnny Bon Sacco's birthday, apparently.
Johnny will sing to you in just a moment. She's doing this on the basis, as you pointed out, the final tipping was this whistleblower thing, which by Congress's own admission, they don't know. They don't know what's going on there. They have press reports. That's it. So that is a hell of a gamble. Hell of a gamble. And to take that and to suggest that because of that, impeachment for everything else is on the table, that all the stuff she's been holding off on since, I don't see how you get there, but she's the politician, not me. That's all.
All right. So Johnny Bon Sacco's birthday.
Oh, Johnny, we hear it's your birthday because you told us. And around here, we do this. Are we waiting for Satsu to do his middle parts?
I don't know.
I don't know.
If he's taking
Johnny,
care
do you
of
want to?
if he's taking care of the baby, we kind of give him a pass.
No, he was answering a phone call.
Oh, was he? Oh, I don't know. You're the master of birthday ceremonies, generally speaking. So you decide.
Yeah, we can do it now.
Okay.
Johnny, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. I hate these songs. Happy birthday to you. I mean, happy birthday now, but I hate this. Happy birthday, dear Johnny. I mean, I don't really, but I like to say I do. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Johnny. I hope you enjoyed it.
Deneen,
How's
hold on. Deneen in the chat says Sinatra sent me. Well, thank you, Sinatra. What are you going to do for us?
Hey, the sinners are here.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's the Sinazis. Hello, Sinut.
Hey, what's up? Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. Well, I figured if I put you in the photo, I might as well at least invite you.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So, impeachment.
Yeah, it'll work this time the same way it worked all the other times.
Oh my God.
What is that? Am I the only one hearing that?
No, I hear it too. It's.
I just
Oh, it's Satsu.
Oh, you unmuted.
That's right.
yeah.
Satsu's gain always picks up like cockroaches a mile away whenever he turns the microphone back on.
Sinatra's does that too when we're like gaming and shit. You can always tell when he like muted his mic.
Hey! No whataboutism, Satsu. Jesus.
Yeah, this is about you, Satsu.
God.
Yeah, everybody jump on the black dude. I get it.
Oh. Oh. All right.
As if I needed an excuse.
I know.
Okay. Well, we had Monkey's feedback. Satsu, do you have any thoughts on impeachment?
I'm just interested to see where it's gonna go. I feel like if they're confident enough now, after all of the shit that we've seen, all of the so-called evidence that created grounds for impeachment, all the way up until now, none of that shit was good enough. But for some reason, this is. I want to know what the fuck they got. I'm curious. They must know something.
They got nothing.
We'll see.
Well, here's the thing. So, before we get to Sinatra, just to interject on the thing a little bit, because this was all triggered, or I should say, Pelosi's endorsement, let's say, was triggered by the Ukrainian revelation or whatever. Thank you, Jonathan Malone. Aha! Satsu is unnecessary and irrelevant. Because you weren't here for the birthday song, Satsu, so Monkey just kind of did his best impression of you, which is totally racist, but he did his best.
Oh, God, I'm going to have to go back and listen to that.
I know, right?
Yeah, he kept saying dog and bro and shit like that. It was really
I did
uncomfortable.
not.
He kept going, yeah, dog, this is a birthday song, bro. It was really uncomfortable.
Okay, so yeah.
No assholes.
The events that triggered this were the whistleblower complaint and the call to the Ukrainian president. So I've got two entries from CNN on both subjects. So first, behind Trump's decision to release the whistleblower complaint. President Trump made the decision today to release the whistleblower complaint, a source familiar tells CNN. They didn't even say if they left out with the matter. Just a source familiar. Okay. It's unclear what is behind the White House's change in position. As of late last week, the White House and the Department of Justice were advising the Office of the Director of National Intelligence not to turn over the complaint to Congress. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi told lawmakers today that she pressed Trump during a phone call to release the complaint. According to two sources familiar, did you guys take with the matter out back and shoot it? What? I've never seen you guys not
to say it.
There's always something that tails ends to familiar. It's familiar with the situation, with Trump's thinking, with the matter.
That's just good grammar.
At least the White House.
Who wrote this?
These little. Okay, this is from. Oh, I see. Okay, well, it takes three authors to write this, and it's Pamela Brown, Evan Perez, and Jolton Jim Acosta.
Oh wait, so it wasn't Chris Cillizza?
No, these are the live blog posts of the situation. Okay, so surprise to everybody. Apparently, the whistleblower complaints can be released tomorrow. Okay, what about the whole evil phone call with Ukraine? Thank you, Three-Sided Coin. Impeachment, I thought this was about peaches. I already bought my ticket to Georgia. Well, if you do, you can go see SDA and Poisoning the Well. I hear they are in there somewhere. Well, this is what I'm... the Schadenfreude that is oncoming, potentially, is beyond compare, at least hypothetically. This is what they have to say about the transcript of the phone call. White House officials say, prepare for the call transcript to be underwhelming. Two White House officials downplayed expectations for any bombshells in the release of the call transcript detailing President Trump's conversation with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Both officials said the transcript is expected to be, quote-unquote, underwhelming. One of the officials conceded that makes the release of the whistleblower complaint that much more important, but the official raised questions about the credibility of the administration employee who filed the complaint about Trump's interactions with Zelensky, referring to the employee as, quote, the so-called whistleblower. The White House is preparing to release the whistleblower complaint to Congress as early as tomorrow, according to two sources familiar, period. You guys are really
doing that to fuck with you.
I think that, you know what? That's what I was just about to say. I think they've been listening to the show, and they know that I've taken that phrase and used it for my own series, and now they're trying not to advertise for me.
You know what's funny? What would be hilarious is if the screen zoomed out and then changed, and it was it zoomed back in, and it was Chris Eliza in his office sipping out of his Scribe-like cup. It was just like, he's on to us.
My head would explode. Speaking of which, if you want a Scribe-like cup, there's a link in the description to my Scribe store. But also make sure to look at the fundraisers. Okay, I put it off long enough. Sinatra, what are your thoughts?
I don't think anything's going to happen. I think this is just going to be another Russia thing where they hype this up. They're like, this will get them. We can finally defeat Drumpf. And when it happens, it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what they're going to pursue. If they're going to pursue only the Ukrainian thing, and it turns out to be a nothing burger, ta-da. The only evidence or charge that had any legs out of the whole Mueller thing was sort of the Streisand effect of the whole thing, and that is Trump taking actions to impede and or obstruct the investigation itself. There was enough, at least in my opinion, there was enough testimony, documentary evidence to say that Trump did attempt to obstruct justice in that regard. Now, of course, how that plays out legally when you're obstructing justice against an investigation that goes nowhere, beside the point, I think. Whether or not that rises to the level of trying to impeach the guy during this period of time. They're not going to get him out of the office, obviously, but that's not really what they're shooting for. I think the only end game for this, no Marvel pun intended, is they've given up on actually taking him out of office. What's the point? The idea is, as far as I can tell, run impeachment, get as much dirty laundry on the table as we can ahead of the election to try to peel off swing voters voting for Trump, either not voting for Trump or just bowing out of the election entirely if they're not that jazzed about the Democratic candidate. If they can shave a few points off in key states in the course of this, they could, maybe, again, also depending on who the nominee is on the Democratic side, that's a really big factor. But at the same time, if they can actually get the swing votes or turn a few people's opinions, that's really the only strategy I see of what they're trying to win out of this.
I don't know if they can win anything, because if they lose this, they could be throwing away the entire 2020 election.
Thank you, Three-Sided Coin.
Well,
don't worry, they will read and write articles, quote, what Trump said and what he really meant, unquote. This is a terrible idea. I can't believe Pelosi caved. And then thank you,
You're right.
Sol Vizier, or Vizier.
Visor.
What?
Visor.
Visor?
Yeah.
I always heard it as Vizier. Okay.
Well, I called him Visor for like a year, and he hasn't corrected me, so.
Okay. Well, the Vizier thing is a class.
Hi, Soul.
What? No.
I just said hi, Soul, because that's all I'd call him.
Why'd you call me an asshole?
No.
Well,
Okay, anyway, it'll just be another waste of taxpayers' money and a distraction. Well, like I said, there's such a gamble with this, because on the one hand, if they actually do come up with something that, you know, the majority of voters agree is something completely horrible, and even if he doesn't get out of office, it does, you know, follow him around for a year till election time, peel off voters, and if they have a strong nominee on the Democratic side, That's really their only option. On the other hand, what are we doing again? Well, like Sinatra said, we've got Russia 2, waste of governance boogaloo. And we spend a year or less because they want to finish this up by Christmas. And if they finish it up by Christmas and it doesn't go anywhere, it's going to be forgotten by April when the next Marvel movie comes out. So, who gives a shit?
You're
Well, here's
giving that an
the real
awfully
problem.
good.
I said the real problem is they pulled this over this specific reason, the whistleblower.
Mhm.
If Trump releases that call, which is supposed to come tomorrow sometime, and there's nothing there, this implodes on them tomorrow.
The whistleblower thing means nothing if there's nothing to whistle blow on, basically. Yeah, this could be the biggest disaster for the Democrats since the last one. The Mueller
A
testimony.
month ago, maybe.
Yeah, a month ago, maybe. Or Candace Owen last week.
Well, they're out of options at this point. They're basically trying to use a flamethrower against a Charizard at the moment, and it'll be interesting to see.
The reason they're doing it like this is because they're afraid of 2020. They're afraid that if they don't get rid of him, he will win again, which is pretty likely.
Well, they have to know, or at least the sane ones there have to know they're not going to get rid of him as in actually get him impeached and kicked out of office. Like I say, all they can think to be doing right now is trying to lessen his popularity in some fashion ahead of time. And see, Sol Vizier, Scribe, he has been saying it wrong, but I just never corrected him because I let it slide.
Fucking why not correct me then?
I had to be the one. No, see, the Vizier was the there's a subclass.
Here's your nuts.
in the game Vampire the Masquerade. The Assamites, which is a little sect of vampires, they have ranks within their little organization. One of them is called the Vizier, and the Vizier is like the wise man, the spiritual leader kind of person. And so when I saw that, I knew how to say it, and you guys started messing with me. Thank you, East Phoenix. So Trump is basically Thanos, and everyone looking to impeach him are the Avengers. Now, Trump is Thanos in the scene where Star-Lord decides to punch him as everybody's pulling the glove off him. It's that scene right there. I mean, you could take that scene, and somebody probably should. They should put Nancy Pelosi's face over like Mantis's head, and Trump's face over Thanos's face, and take Nadler's head and put it over Star-Lord. The whole 9 yards. It's right there. And when this thing falls apart tomorrow, which I think is likely, you can put like you can take the Infinity Gauntlet and put like the presidency, like the presidential seal over it instead of the gems, and yeah, it's just not going anywhere. Now, again, maybe we'll be surprised tomorrow. Maybe they'll release all the information. Oh my God, he actually did do a quid pro quo with the Ukrainian president to get dirt on Joe Biden in exchange for millions of dollars in aid. I mean, I've been surprised today. It could be a surprise tomorrow.
Yeah.
But Biden wasn't even running when this happened.
Well, it was a
was in
recent
July.
call.
Wasn't it July?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the call was in July, and he withheld the funds a couple of weeks before the call. So there's some that's the implication, is that he was holding the funds unless or until Ukraine did something to try to harm Biden, or at least via his son Joe Biden.
Isn't his name like Rex or something?
Hunter.
Dumb name.
Yeah, so on Monkey's show tomorrow, guys, we could be having the biggest sort of Schadenfreude belly laugh ever.
Well, and they're married to it now.
Yeah, they can't go away. And you know what? I'm just wait. If tomorrow turns out to be a complete nothing burger, just wait for the 4-dimensional chest cheers all over the fucking world.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be running around. The media's going to be all like, we have to clean this narrative up. Keep saying the same shit over and over, no matter what.
They'll have to believe us eventually.
Yeah, just keep saying the same shit. If enough sheep pick it up, they'll keep sharing it.
I do want to bring up...
God.
I was going to say, I want to bring up one other thing, political news, because we're already at the bottom of the hour. Apparently, and granted, the rules could be changed at any moment, because that's just it works with the DNC. Tulsi Gabbard has qualified for the next debate.
Yes, she has.
She also says, she made a statement today, impeachment of Trump would be terribly divisive for the country. As many of
She's
her
right.
House Democratic colleagues decided to back the impeachment of President Donald Trump, Democratic Hawaii Representative Tulsi Gabbard on Tuesday said she doesn't support the move because it would be, quote, terribly divisive for an already very divided United States. Quote, look, my position remains the same. I think impeachment would be terribly divisive for our already divided country. I think Congress needs to exercise oversight over the information that's been leaked. I think it's important this transcript is released to Congress so that Congress can do their job. Well, you get your wish. So anyway, yeah, so my first response when I saw that on Twitter today, I said, ruh-roh, Kamala. That's going to be... Anyway, any other thoughts before we move on to the Mrs. News?
I saw just a real quick. This might pre-qualify as fucketry, but fuck it. I saw some post on Facebook today. It was like, yeah, the con man who's known for being a con man is lying to you. It's no. I'm sorry, I fucked that up. It's not the con man known for being a con man lying to you. It's the media and the Democrats who are just lying to you for no reason. Oh, okay.
Well, obviously.
Okay. You know what I hate about OBS? Other thing. It's that they don't have a spell check thing box.
No.
So if I misspell something, and then I see it go across the screen, I go like, oh, for God's sake.
We all get to laugh.
Yeah, and that's fine. You know, it's like...
Scribe fucked up. Point and laugh, guys.
Yeah. I admit it. It's just that, and then I see some weird, like, cutoffs. That's... Anyway, I'm just critical of my own work, if you can. So
Human. We just found out.
I know. It was my turn to release the whistleblower. Thank you, Ace Phoenix. If Trump is reelected in 2020, he should give his first speech and start it by smiling and saying, "I am inevitable." Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Oh, God. Yeah, at this rate, I mean, depending on what happens tomorrow, oh, man, it's going to be something else. But depending on what happens tomorrow, he might have the election locked after tomorrow.
If he did that, there would be a collective meltdown of people going, Trump is saying he wants to kill half of the universe.
Now, I just imagine...
And there's black people in there.
I just imagine some speech he starts giving right after he gets reelected, and some fan in the audience like hands him an Infinity Gauntlet, and he puts it on and holds it up, and he got me next 20. Anyway, moving on to MSS News. Guys, if you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise to get to them all, but I'll do the best that I can. The first one sent to us is from Amundeus Dedus. Not Amadeus, but Amundedus. It's funny, Scribelight, that you put out a challenge from the cabbage article, and lo and behold, I actually had a cabbage. Enjoy! By the way, I'm Judge Death. Oh, Judge Death, hello. So yeah, I put out the cabbage challenge last night, guys, because, you know, cabbage needs love. Now, I can't play this live, obviously, but I'm going to retweet it. Go take a look at Judge Death / Amadeus Didus and his cabbage challenge submission. Appreciate that. Let's see. Frosted Glass sends us this one. People are seriously talking about invading Brazil to save the planet. What people? I mean, a guy down the street on the corner yelling at everybody.
We need a crusade to save the planet.
Captain
The world
Planet.
is literally on fire.
Gotta call Captain Planet. The Planeteers, yo. It started as a mere thought experiment, a little what if. As fires raged in the Amazon basin, many of them intentionally set, Stephen Walt, a professor of international relations at Harvard's Kennedy School of Government, took to the pages of Foreign Policy, I guess that's a journal, to do a little thinking out loud in an essay entitled, quote, "Who will invade Brazil to save the Amazon?" unquote. The piece begins with a stab at speculative fiction, set 6 years in the future, in which President Gavin Newsom
over my dead body.
Yeah, Gavin
I
Newsom
will kill myself.
puts the Brazilians on notice. Bring a halt to unchecked deforestation or face a U.S.-led naval blockade and airstrikes against key government infrastructure.
Oh.
Quote, the above scenario is obviously far-fetched, Walt quickly assured readers, which was indeed reassuring since it seems to presuppose a second term for Donald Trump. Presuppose at this point, man, I don't know. Besides which, Brazil is a major U.S. ally and trading partner and is one of the most stable democracies in Latin America. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. This professor's fan fiction doesn't mean anything. I don't know. We're not going to invade Brazil.
Why would
This is the kind of shit people who listen to a 15-year-old for their climate science advice come up with.
16 monkey?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. She had a birthday.
You know, sometimes reading about the academia out there, it almost seems like they're the far distant AM radio of the 90s for the right wing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going to put our crazy conspiracy theory ideas or whatever out here.
Yes. As Dave Chappelle said, the tables have turned.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Ad for Apple TV.
Apple TV.
I will say the one show on Apple TV that I would be interested in watching is For All Mankind, an alternate history show where the Russians got to the moon first, and this spurred on a whole different kind of space race and initiative on the Americans' part to do other things. It's not like crazy weird sci-fi like with aliens and stuff. It just sort of changes the timetable of things. I wouldn't pay for Apple TV to watch it, but I like the idea. Let's see. This one comes from Quinn Harrison. Thank you, Ragnat Uthbert. The fires are nothing to an average volcano eruption. True, but an average volcano eruption is not destroying the parts of the planet that make the most oxygen. That's the big thing. They're scared there's not going to be... Planet's lungs, as they're called, reside in large part in the Amazon. But don't worry. I mean, I reread articles not too long ago that there's a whole bunch of overdue volcanoes in the United States ready to blow their tops at some point. So, we'll get some ash in our diet sooner. North Carolina bill requires public school students to undergo mental health screening. Okay. As mental health problems among children increase, or as overdiagnosis of paranoid parents increase, a new North Carolina bill is tackling the issue head-on. House Bill 75 requires all public students across the state to undergo mental health screenings in the name of school safety. Quote, "I think it's better that you catch it at an early age," said parent Kalina Bradford, or instill a sense of paranoia and fault inside of children that you're diagnosing. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know why I'm saying that. The bill allows each district to create a mental health crisis response plan made up of the SBI, local law enforcement, and school administrators to identify students who may pose a threat to themselves or others. So you're going to use mental health screenings of questionable value to find students that you're going to turn into pariahs of dangerousness.
That's just like those back when you used to get a lice check, man. They're just going to run a comb through your hair and see how you respond.
Thank you, Sanguine. I love how countries were paying Brazil to keep them from slash and burn agriculture. Those countries then cut their funding for that, and Brazil starts up their feigned surprise and outrage. Yeah. Thank you, Sanguine. Sorry, Sinatra.
I already forgot what I was going to say.
Jesus. Satsu, you got any thoughts?
No, I'm married now.
That's what-
Very good. All right. Mental health screen. Let's see. This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Those are some white teeth. I'm going to put the link in the chat because happy face. This man has a very, very happy face. Florida man leads cops on low-speed chase, gets 5th DUI.
Damn.
A Florida man looking very pleased with himself in his mugshot, despite being arrested for 5th DUI Thursday after leading police on a low-speed chase. Gordon Ormond, a 56, flashed his pearly whites in a bizarre-looking photo after he was eventually hauled in by cops for allegedly running a red light in Newport Richey in his white van. A deputy with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office tried to pull him over, but Ormond apparently did not stop. Ignoring police sirens and emergency lights, Ormond continued to drive between 15 and 35 miles per hour, and at one point hit a basketball hoop. Ormond was eventually thwarted when authorities used stop sticks.
The motherfucker like he got hit with some Joker gas.
Yeah, look
Right.
at that, right? Man, okay, now are those have got to be fake. They have to be like dentures.
Gary Busey teeth.
Yeah, it's got those have to be implants or something. If those are his natural teeth, credit where credit is due for being a drunk who's got teeth that perfect.
Takes his alcohol up the other side.
I gave myself a white wine enema.
Oh, jeez.
Anima.
Let's
Anima.
enema.
Oh my god.
Enema. Enema.
Anima.
That's nasty.
That's wrong.
I know. All right. Moving on. This one comes from Peter Stewart. Teacher carries 10-year-old with spina bifida on his back. He can enjoy field trip. Oh, that's nice. A Kentucky teacher carried a 10-year-old student on his back so she could enjoy a field trip to see a fossil bed that was not accessible by wheelchair. Ryan King uses a wheelchair to get around because she was born with spina bifida, occurs when the spine and spinal cord don't form properly during pregnancy. And unfortunately, the Tully Elementary School student typically stays home during class trips, which aren't always accessible. Excuse me. So for the class trip to see fossils at Indiana State Park, Falls of the Ohio. Okay, so for the class trip to see fossils at Indiana State Park, Falls of the Ohio. Park's name is Falls of the Ohio.
Sure.
During name. The family thought the same thing was going to happen. During a phone interview with CTV News, her mother, Shelley, recalled thinking, oh my gosh, another field trip she's going to have to miss. But in the days leading up... Okay, I got to get some water, guys. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
All right.
All right.
I don't have it up.
I don't even know.
I'm getting over to the hashtag.
Teacher did good. Teacher did a good.
Yeah, good job on the teacher there.
Yeah, teacher did a good.
And good job on the family for not looking. Look, we can't go to field trips because our kid can't go.
Seriously, though, it's not very often you see a teacher go above and beyond like that.
No, it's awesome.
What's awesome?
Okay. The teacher going above and beyond.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Did you already read the story?
No, I was getting there. I didn't have it open, so
okay.
I just got there.
Okay. Let's see. But in the days leading up to the trip, she received a surprise from Jim Freeman, one of the teachers at the school. In a Facebook post last week, the Louisville mother wrote, quote, I was preparing for an alternate field trip day when a male teacher reached out and said, I'm happy to tote her around on the falls all day. Freeman had overheard how King herself had thought to carry her daughter in a harness during the trip. Quote, but why should mom do it? King recalls Freeman telling her. Ryan is your average teenage girl. She doesn't want her mom around constantly. Yeah. So there's pictures of her, like a little backpack kind of deal. Really nice.
Yeah, I threw the link in chat so people. Did you see the smile on his face?
Mm-hmm.
Good for him, man. Good job, bud.
Yeah, he looks proud, as he should be.
And he should be.
All right. Comes from Shrouded Angel.
I think I'm going to steal that and keep it till Friday.
Teen told mom he wanted to rape her after watching video of chimps having sex.
Pardon?
What?
You know, I've said it before. There are times where I read a chain of words and I think to myself, that sequence of words has never, ever been put together in the... I think this is one of those instances.
Why chimps?
A teenage boy has appeared in court accused of sexually assaulting his own mom and telling her he wanted to, quote-unquote, rape her. The court heard how the 18-year-old from Hull, that's H-L-L, I assume, here, who cannot be named for legal reasons, is alleged to have brought up the conversation of sex with his mother while he was 16 and watching footage of chimpanzee mating. The teen is on trial, charged with sexual assault, engaging in sexual activity in the presence of a child.
Wait,
I wonder if that's
in the
himself.
presence of himself?
As I was about to say, or maybe there's somebody else in the house.
Around.
Yeah,
Oh.
and exposure. Hull Crown Court heard how the teen was watching an episode of The Secret Life of the Zoo for chimpanzees mating when he is accused of making the comments. Okay. The prosecutor told the court that on January 4th, 2018, while watching the program, then 16-year-old spoke to his mom about how he had seen a video on his father's phone of parents having sexual intercourse, and that had made him want to have sex with her. Oh, wait. You guys said it was he watched chimpanzees mating and then he did this. No, dirty video that dad made of him and mom, and I'm confused. Let's see. Quote, he told her that since he had seen the video of her having sex with her ex-partner, dad, he couldn't stop thinking about having sex with her and raping her. Okay. I really don't want to read the rest of this. I'm just gonna not.
What the fuck is wrong with British people?
This is just disturbing. So yeah, I mean, if anybody else wants to expose themselves to that story, and I'm not going trigger. It's just like I really don't want to. You know, a son sexually assaulting his mother. It's like, I don't need the details. I get it. Ugh.
Well, I don't mean to bring this up, but that does, because I've wondered this very many times, because we're in a day and age where there's so much like amateur porn all over the internet.
Uh-huh.
What does that do to kids who come across videos of their parents?
We're only going to find out more and more as time goes on. I mean, I
That
think
can't be healthy.
I came across, I forget where it was. Like some montage of like magazine something covers or something, and one of the passed by was a Playboy magazine cover that I remember sneaking out from underneath my my dad's mattress or whatever when I was like 12, right? And I was thinking, like, imagine if I had been at that frame of mind today. What wonders I would have found with just a click, you know, compared to the tameness of Playboy, which was exciting as all hell when I was a kid, and now you can just, you know, find stuff that would have been considered illegal back then, practically. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that's going to do to kids growing up today, and what that's going to do to them romantically, mentally, sexually. I can only imagine. I don't know. Scary if I stop and think. Thank you, Chicago Mike. Did he want to kill his father too? I don't know. Was his name Oedipus by any chance?
I'm back.
Welcome back. Okay, moving on. This one comes from Sean Uli.
Uli.
Uli, if you go in the description, guys, there's a fundraiser link for Sean Uli. He is moved out of a nursing home. Chance to take a look at that. As well as the link for Blind Press's wedding fund. description. Okay, so corrupting medical education. Okay. Stanley Goldfarb knew what he was talking about. Last week, the former Associate Dean of Curriculum at the University of Pennsylvania Medical School wrote in these pages that the climate change, gun control, and, quote, other progressive causes only tangentially related to treating illness, unquote, beginning to corrupt medical training. His piece spurred a social media eruption that immediately proved his point. Left-wing medical Twitter, yes, there is such a piled on with virtue signaling that distorted Dr. Goldfarb's argument. He didn't write that doctors shouldn't have opinions about political issues. He wrote that those issues shouldn't interfere with scientific and training essential to doctors and patients. The most disappointing response came from Penn Medical School, which sprinted for political cover. Dean J. Larry Jameson and Senior Vice Dean Suzanne Rose sent a letter to students and faculty that is a study in progressive correctness. Quote, please know that the views expressed by Dr. Goldfarb in this column reflect his personal opinions and do not reflect the values of the Roman School of Medicine, said. We deeply value inclusion and diversity as fundamental to effective healthcare delivery, creativity, discovery, and lifelong learning. We are committed to ensuring a rigorous and comprehensive medical education that includes examination of the many social and cultural issues that influence health, from violence within communities to changes in the environment around us. How does that tell you how to correctly?
Yeah.
Well, I saw this original thing blow up last week, and the one I saw was actually I think it was from the Harvard Dean of Medicine, complaining. He's like, look, our we've kind of moved to some social justice courses, but that we kind of still train them as doctors.
They're telling me that there's no audio.
Well, they said your audio was weird.
My audio keeps getting quiet. I'm moving as close as I can to the microphone, guys. So tell me if that changes anything. Or is... No, the stream says it's okay. OBS says everything is okay. So, I will turn up my volume a little. Testing. I keep cutting out. Great. I don't know. Turn up my gain a little bit. I don't know. Might be my internet, guys. I'm not having any problems. You guys aren't having any problems hearing me, are you?
Nope.
Am I cutting out for you?
No, which also could mean it's a YouTube thing, guys.
Oh, okay. Well, I've turned up my gain. I turned up the volume on OBS a little bit. That's all I can do, guys. So if it continues, if it gets to the point where it's like annoying and you can't listen to the show with me doing it, I'll take a breather for a bit. Everybody else talk, but a little better now. Scribe, we could use. Okay, well, I've made whatever reasonable adjustments I can, guys. So I haven't changed anything from the last 12 times I've done the show, so I don't know what's going on now. But moving on, we'll do one more because we got a guest. This one comes from Desert Tramp. And Desert Tramp sent me a direct link. Yay! Don't go through the weird app thing because he sends it through like a app link thing that always screws up the reception. Anyway, man responsible for 16 Home Depot thefts caught by Tempe police.
What?
16. That's quite a record. Police have caught the man they say is responsible for 16 thefts in 17 months from a Tempe Home Depot.
Oh, damn.
Damn.
Okay. On September 17th, police captured Jose Pedro Uarte, 41, on 16 counts of retail theft that Uarte allegedly committed over the past 17 months at the Home Depot near Priest Drive and Baseline Road. Police say Uarte would steal, quote, high-dollar power tools and yard equipment. In total, he took over $8,500 worth of equipment from Home Depot. On one occasion, Uarte reportedly threatened a worker with a machete that he had just stolen from the store.
Well, yeah, you leave the guy stealing the machete alone. You let him go.
Yeah. Upon his arrest, he allegedly told police that he steals to support his daily heroin habit.
Whoa.
Well, then, there you go. For a second there, I thought he was confused and thought he was in an episode of Market Sweep. All right. Well, he's been captured. Let's see. Counts of retail theft. They don't say what he might be facing as far as time, but I assume it's probably not a short amount of time. I think what's grand theft? Anything over $5,000?
Yeah.
Something like that. All right.
It might depend where it's at too.
That's true. All right, guys. Thank you so much for all the stories. Sorry to get to more audio problems. Caught up in these wonderful stories you send us. Thank you guys for all your. But we're going to move on to YouTube time. I'll go first as far as YouTube goes. Well, I don't know. Does comments on a YouTube video count as YouTube time or fucketry time?
It's your choice, actually, because that could go either way.
Okay. Well, since this is the one thing I do have, I will do it. So, as you guys may know from the last night or so of me talking about it, my most recent video about the Andrew Yang Universal Basic Income proposal has been my most controversial video I have ever posted to my channel in the history of all things that are Scribe Light. I have gotten so much pushback. I'm not going to call it criticism, except for a couple of individuals. Most of it's just telling me that I'm uninformed without specification, or that I'm lying without saying what I lied about, or that I'm so 19th century, whatever the hell that means. A boomer. Because the Yang Gang, man, when I tagged that video with Andrew Yang, I had no idea what I was on. So, I did get one comment today that kind of took the cake. And I'll read it to you in its entirety. This is actually a response to a response. So this isn't the first thing they said, but it was a response to something I said. They said something nebulous about how the video was bad, and I just asked for more clarification on things, and this was their response. Scribe Light, if you can't see the sense in his rationale, as in Andrew Yang, you have no sense. You are too conservative to grasp innovation, too conservative to venture out of your comfort zone and pursue big dreams. Yang is endorsed by Elon Musk, the most important person on the planet. The fact that you don't endorse Yang is meaningless. If you were to disappear, no one would notice and nothing would change. If Yang or Elon were to disappear, the course of history would change. I wrote back, I said, well, for someone so meaningless, you sure are wasting a lot of typing time on me. But I was unaware that Elon Musk is the most important person on the planet. I must have missed that headline.
I think it would be fair to say he's one of the most, but definitely not the most.
I would notice if you were gone, Scribe, and I would care.
Oh,
I would be sad.
yeah, because you'd have to read the news.
Yeah, and have you heard me try to read the news?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Everybody would be saddened by that.
I know, right?
My
like
reading makes them sad.
I like the part, like a conservative. That being called a conservative is not nearly as funny as when I was called a neocon. Like 6 months ago or something, somebody in the chat called me a neocon or something.
That was on my channel.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm a neocon? I was like, good God, I hated the neocons back in, the Project for a New American Century assholes back in the Iraq War. Ugh, Wolfowitz and all those guys. Ugh. But yeah, neocon, I'm a conservative. I mean, I'll tell you what. The way things are being stretched to their absolute extremes these days, I probably do qualify as someone's version of a conservative. Because I'm like center left. I used to be on the basis of things, or at least I consider myself far more left than I'm probably considered now by the more extremists. But conservative? Fiscally conservative, socially liberal. That's the biggest, that's sort of like the broadest category I put myself under without claiming allegiance to a party or a group or something. So anyway, yeah, the Elon Musk is the most important person on the I don't matter. That was my biggest YouTube break today. But otherwise, yeah, if you guys want to see some, and there have been actually some really interesting back and forths. Like I had a good conversation with Three Sided Coin in the comments of this video. Sar Jim has had a whole bunch of good input, as he usually does, and I've encouraged him now to actually start his own YouTube channel because I think he would be really good at that. Yeah, that's all the YouTube I've got. Satsu got.
Well, I just stumbled upon something, but I can't read it out loud, unfortunately.
Send it in a DM. I'll read it.
Well, all right. I'll send that to you in a minute here. But yeah. Let me see. Let me look real quick because I know I got some stuff. I was talking some shit on Twitter today.
Real quick, thank you, Diesel Dave. Broke down on the side of the road. Fuck my life. Oh, I hope you're okay, dude.
I thought this was YouTube time, not fucketry.
YouTube time, dude.
Oh, I ain't do shit for YouTube.
Well, then.
That's just pulled a Scribe.
Wow. There you go. I don't feel so bad now.
Well, no. Yeah, I didn't really do anything for YouTube. I still got some videos that I've been sitting on that are ready to be recorded and everything. I just need to do the audio for them, but I didn't do it today because I was chillaxing. But Monkey, we might not be able to stream tonight. I was
going to tell you I can't.
Oh, well, that works out because I did want to finish Borderlands, but we have to get up early for Squeedus's appointment tomorrow. And I don't want to be exhausted for it, so we'll be back.
I had already told Jack that I'd be over on Quiplash with him today, and I forgot all about it when I told you I'd play tonight. So yeah, I was waiting to break your heart, so that works out well.
Okay, well, good. You don't have to break a black man's heart. But yeah, that's it for YouTube stuff.
Okay, Monkey.
Oh, usual Monkey in the morning. But after this, yeah, I'll be over with Jack Gunsky playing the Quiplash. Damn it, and the other games they play over there on Tuesday nights.
And before he even asks, no.
Sinatra gave a preemptive no.
There's a good segue. Sinatra, what have you been up to today?
I got a video recorded that's going to go live tomorrow. I had to re-render and re-upload it about 4 different times because of copyright shit. So I just said fuck it and left that whole part in the video mute. So if you're wondering why, that's why. I got about half a creepypasta done. And we had a momentous historic occasion over on Tucker Tuesday. We hit the Penta horsecock for the first time ever.
Oh.
In Sinatra Stream's history. 5 horsecocks in a single stream.
Zion.
Can you handle cock of that magnitude?
It was well, not really, because my OBS crashed.
Your OBS couldn't
Sinatra
take that much.
Take all the cock.
Yeah, my OBS just said fuck it.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
Bucketry, I've got a couple of things. First, the Babylon Bee, upon hearing about Pelosi, this Trump, quote, "If you impeach me now, I shall become more powerful than you possibly imagine." And of course, Tulsi's qualified for the next debate, so I said, front row, come on. And I also took, I hadn't really thought about it, but I guess it was an errant thought in my head, but one of the commenters on my video urged me to do so, and that is to reach out to Andrew Yang on the off chance. Maybe the guy would do a Q&A with me, or live stream or something. I took the shot, and I said, Mr. Yang, response to my video, attached, has been very passionate that I have an incomplete understanding of your UBI plan, at least as presented in the associated piece. Curious if you'd be able to do a brief live stream Q&A on the subject? And I don't actually expect a response, but you don't know if you ask. There was an interesting little video the New York Times put out today. guess it's the first series. It's about a guy, I guess some kind of future guy, proposing a system in the future where you're able to monetize your personal data. Companies use it, you get paid.
Oh.
It's a very odd proposal. The first video is only an introduction of like the really broad stroke ideas, but a couple of things the guy says already makes me wary of it. Basically, he describes there would be these organizations or the entities that would manage your data after a fashion, and that when it gets used, hey, it's sort of like if they were a managed network on YouTube, and let's say you and your information and everything is your collective channel. Every stuff gets done, you get or gets used or gets monetized by somebody else, you get a cut of the profits or something like that. He called those entities. I forget what. Anyway, the shorthand is called MIDS. It's like something individual, Anyway, he compared them to unions and insurance companies, and he said that they would they would be protected, or you could trust them by law. I said, comparing MIDS to unions or insurance companies' function or organization is not an assuring analogy, and trusting by law requires oversight of financial institutions pretty poor of late. Now, this is my first impression of the first video. Apparently, this is going to be free, so if I see any more of them, I might comment more.
Well, just for the record, your information's not worth that much. Individually, our information's not worth that much. It's only worth a lot bundled. So even if this happened, you'd get like pennies every time somebody used it. And I'm not saying don't fight for it. All the power to you, but
and that was the one thing that he didn't quite explain. Like, okay, well, how much? And he was talking about how this would be something that would have to be done in the future because it would take a whole bunch of changes and actually come out. Yeah, one of the questions I have is like, well, what is my data worth to somebody? As an individual person, what I do on the internet or what I like to buy or anything else. How much is that actually worth in the long run? Because if I get paid 5 cents every year, who cares? So, I mean, and the thing is, if I'm getting paid 5 cents, whoever's managing all the whatevers, they're making off like a bandit, probably. Otherwise, why would they do it? Yeah, it's a very interesting idea, but I need a lot more. But other than that, yeah, aside from the impeachment stuff, a lot of fucking really, really busy. Not sure. What do you got?
Oh, I have a little bit. I had a very interesting day on Twitter today. I think literally one of the first tweets I saw all day was Sophane tweeting out, it's funny to see people that defended Soph tooth and nail now go after Greta Thunberg just as vigorously. Your opinions are less than worthless. So I just replied with a picture of a Nicholas Sandman and the Indian beating the drum in his face. And Broski, if you guys know who he is, he replied, same shit, different side. That's why I always find it ironic when one side gets outraged when the other side does the same thing. Where's the self-awareness? Said non-existent. I don't see anyone trying to silence Greta, though, just arguing her points. And that it was after that led to one of the biggest screechers I have ever seen in my life show up in my mentions. This guy literally went on to say, all right-wingers are science deniers, and they are all supporting priests who rape young boys. And he went on with this literally all day. I had to mute him because he was insane. And also, Razorfist tweeted out something a little bit ago saying about House seats in his state. I'd have to look at the math to be more specific on the seats up for grabs, but I know a few Democrats, even a few entrenched ones that are in danger here in Arizona. Ruben Gallego is shitting bricks right now. and the congressman replied to Razor Fist
Oh shit.
with a little picture of the young girl from what's it called? Full House, the young blonde one. I forget her name. And it was that saying, "Oh, I'm so scared." Razor Fist replied, "You should be. I'm a voter in your district."
That's
And
crazy.
so I archived it and I posted it and I said, for when he eventually deletes this fucking tweet,
Nice.
because you know he's going to. But I was driving today, and there was a forklift in front of me. The forklift brand was called Moffat, so I just tweeted out Hester and a picture of it. It got 10 likes. I was so disappointed that no one got that.
I didn't get it. I saw it. I didn't get it.
Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah, I was about to say, was the guy was?
Yeah. It was the storage unit.
Oh no, I know, but
Yeah, Hester, Hester Moffat.
oh, I guess you're right. Okay, yeah, I remember that because my first thought in my head when you said Moffat, like, oh, is that? I didn't remember the.
Oh, and I tweeted out a video of a turtle running super fucking fast. And it says my life is a lie.
Yeah, dude, I don't know where the whole turtles are slow shit came from, but them motherfuckers be peeling ass.
Yeah, for real.
They fast.
Well, most of the time they just kind of crawl, but yeah, those little fuckers can run.
Oh hell yeah! Like
everything I know is a lie. That I saw that and I was like, holy shit!
The walls of reality are shattering around me.
Literally.
Thank you, YouTube, for letting me know that I'm live on my channel.
Oh, you got that email too?
Oh, I get them all the time now. Just like it's like now live on your channel, your own show. Like, okay, thanks. I mean, it's fine.
Someone in the chat said Gallagher's a schmuck. He is. His YouTube or his Twitter bio is Iraqi war veteran, USMC, then his MLS, member of Congress for Arizona's 7th congressional district, proud Democrat, Hispanic, Latino, and he's on fucking Twitter replying to Razor Fist. What a bad one. I asked him if he had an alert set up for his name.
I wouldn't be. Right. Just a reminder, guys, if you look down in the description, there's links to 2 fundraisers. Our viewer of the show and friend of the show, Blind Press, a fundraiser for wedding coming. And Sean Uli is help in getting out of a nursing home. They're not asking for a whole lot of money in the grand scheme of things, so if you happen to have a couple of bucks, please forego sending me or Google about who's next? Monkey?
Oh, did I get into any trouble on Twitter today? Oh, it's yesterday for me because I went to sleep. I might have gotten into a little bit of trouble today. I got into several arguments over the whole Soph Greta thing. I again, guys, I don't like children being used at all, period. And I said that about Soph before. While I thought she was funny, I thought she was not old enough to know most of what she was saying. She admits that part of her scripts were written by her brother, so it wasn't just what she said. But something that kept coming back. Both Sophane and Bronx Blogger decided to jump in. I think they really believe what they said. I'm like, of course they believe what they said. They're kids. They believe what they tell you because they're stupid. Now, that doesn't mean you're lying to them, but it does mean they tend to believe adults because that's how they learn, us telling them. And Sophane brought up this idea that if a child can drive, then they're able to understand climate science.
What?
Child can drive.
Well, let me get the exact quote here. I don't want to be disingenuous.
Oh, big word.
Thanks.
While you pull that up, Random American, I just saw what you tweeted at Scribe. That is fucking hilarious.
Oh, the fan art.
Fan art.
Yeah, that's funny.
Here it is. Claiming that a 16-year-old is fine to drive but too dumb to have independent thought is lazy and some boomer shit. And by the way, we're
Did
talking
Sophane
about
say that?
that's what Sophane said.
Yeah,
Oh.
he said that someplace else too. In this other tweet, he's like, "She's 16, man. This cynical position is just some boomer shit."
Yeah, well, I pointed out all kinds of things that we don't let 16-year-olds do. Drinking, marrying, complex legally binding contracts, voting, running for president, working in factories with heavy machinery. These are all things we ban 16-year-olds from doing. But, I mean, if they're able to fully understand the complexities of climate science, maybe we should rethink all of that. Because these are some smart-ass kids, man. And instead of answering any of that, he just came back and said I was being hyperbolic, which I wasn't. The 16-year-old, you know why 16-year-olds can drive? We tell them how to do it. There's no questioning it. Like this is how A works. This is how B works. This is how A and B work together to make you go there safely. And you know what? Do you know who the most dangerous drivers on the road are? I'll give you a hint.
Women.
It's like Jesus, you guys are putting so much faith into the intelligence of children. They're children. I have no doubt Greta actually believes what she says. This is a child who's told us that she stopped eating when she heard about global warming because she was so scared of it. By the way, yeah, you guys have scared the shit out of an autistic girl. You guys should be drinking to yourselves for that one. Good job. Scared an autistic girl to the point where she couldn't eat.
They don't care. They just, she's a good fucking face to put out there, so they don't give a fuck.
But my whole point all along is that this isn't a thing to do for any of them. So then, yeah, we got into a little the climate thing, and Jeff decided to jump in because Ufio Answer, who likes to swing from me and Sinatra's nuts,
Wait, what?
decided to get into it with me on the climate thing. Because I brought up somebody told me I need to believe the science. All right. In 89, you guys told me we had 10 years till the point of no return.
You like to swing from our nuts?
Oh yeah, Ufio, he's around.
Oh, that's the screecher I was talking about.
Oh yeah. So I said in 89, they told us 10 years. This year they're telling us 12 years. Which science am I supposed to believe?
And don't forget, in like what was it, 79? They told us 20 years for the Ice Age.
And the response was the computer models are getting better all the time. Like you still don't have a computer model that can not even accurately, adequately predict what already happened. Because
Don't
they're all
forget
set.
the ozone layer in the 90s. They wanted everyone to stop using hairspray.
The climate models are all specifically designed to show catastrophic warming, no matter what. It's what they're designed to do. And they're wrong constantly. You know what happened in 1989 when I said, this is bullshit. This doesn't make any sense. I was called a climate denier. I was told how wrong I was and that I should listen to the science. Now, one of us was right about that. And it wasn't Michael Mann.
The director?
No. Michael Mann, the climatologist from Penn State. Or University of Pennsylvania. Sorry, I forget which one. I've consistently been right in my position. And it's weird how that keeps happening, but I keep being told I need to believe the science, which is constantly wrong. This is why these people want 16-year-olds to lead them, because they're morons.
Well, you know what really kind of annoys me? We can't even get an accurate fucking weather prediction. And we're supposed to know what's going on with the climate 10 years out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Don't even get me started on the hurricane tracking. Anyhow, I don't want to stay on her. We've talked about that a lot in the last few days. But did you guys see the video of that little white chick yelling at the Hong Kong protesters?
Yeah, Hurricane Karen hit China pretty badly.
That was a great. Yeah, this little blonde white chick, obviously a U.S. transplant because she claims she lives there. I don't know if she actually does or not, but she's yelling at these people, telling them that they shouldn't be protesting, and actually says to them, "You guys value freedom more than safety," as though it's a bad thing.
That sounds a little Ben Franklin.
Yeah, several people have tweeted that Franklin quote out because of listening to this. But if you guys haven't seen it, you should watch. It is amazing to watch this fucking American talk about how much more important safety is than freedom. It's like, oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? Common sense white women reform, guys. It is desperately needed. Speaking of common sense white women reform, this lady tweeted out a picture of her son crying, holding up a card that his class made for him, saying goodbye to him because he's being kicked out of school because his mommy won't immunize him.
Oh shit.
But it's pointed out as though the schools are the problem here. That kid's crying because his mom is a moron. And then the last one I wanted to talk about was Dr. Jessica Eaton, who says, "I think men believe they want a strong, independent, educated, career-focused, self-made woman right up until they actually get one and realize it would be much easier for them if she wasn't so strong, so independent, so educated, so career-focused, and so self-made." For the record, in my lifetime, I cannot remember hearing about a guy wanting a woman who is career-focused. It has a career. That's different than career-focused. But putting all that aside, men, a lot of us do like strong, independent, educated women. Unfortunately, a lot of you women who are educated and think you're strong are just annoying shitbags and nobody wants to deal with you. We run into men who are like you too. You think you have something to prove at all times, and instead of just being, you have to prove how strong and how independent and how educated you are. Maureen Dowd wrote a story like this many, many years ago, where it's like, men just don't like smart women. Like, no, men don't like you.
Being bitchy is not cute. It's not attractive at all.
Yeah, it's so many of these strong, there was nothing. Just reading that tweet, I don't want to talk to you because you sound like a cunt.
Well, yeah.
But anyway, that's all I had.
That's all?
Well, actually, I have more, but most of it goes back to the other arguments I had and different hot takes that were thrown my way, but it gets redundant. That'll be a monkey in the morning kind of thing.
Okay. Well, have enough time to do a Mad Lib.
Did Satsu do his?
Sure didn't.
Didn't? I thought you did.
Scribe, you had broke even.
No, wait. I thought you did. No, I'm sorry. You took it at the beginning of YouTube time.
I wonder why I was going first. No, we corrected him, and so he did his YouTube.
Well, what? Okay, never mind. What do you have, Satsu? Oh, sorry, real quick. Thank you, Midnight Exile. If she is so strong, how come she can't take a punch without having a demonstration?
Oof.
Ouch.
Oh, and by the way, I just want to point out the guy with the bad memory of the show is the one who remembered how things are supposed to work tonight. Just throwing that out there.
No, I thought Satsu spoke about his. I thought he said didn't have much.
I was starting to talk about my fucketry because I was looking for it, and they're like, "Dude, it's not fucketry, it's YouTube time." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" So I talked about my YouTube stuff.
I thought. Thank you, Sanguine. Trade our trade our commies for Hong Kongers. That way they both get what they want. Strong women don't mean bitch, though. That seems. Yeah, strong female characters. They make them. I did a video on a show called The Fall that had Gillian Anderson playing a strong female character, which is eerily prescient for how they decided to do Jessica Jones. Where strong female character means you have no emotions, you're a jerk to everybody, and all the men in your show are either weak, spineless guppies, or they are the villains, the worst people ever. A strong character, it doesn't matter if it's male or female, is someone who overcomes obstacles, has to struggle to overcome the obstacles around them, and fail from time to time, and then have to get themselves back up again. Thank you, Cryptic. My girlfriend asked me how to convert a document to PDF, but I've never heard of that religion.
Well played, sir.
Also, there's a birthday apparently.
All right, who?
I said there's a birthday apparently. Johnny Bonsako.
That was the one you
sung
were
to
here
Johnny.
for. Yeah, we already saying happy birthday to Johnny. So.
Oh, okay. Well, because they were saying it now, so I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
So what do you got, Satsu?
Well, a couple things are kind of leaning off of the stuff that Monkey had already talked about.
Sorry,
so.
real quick. Thank you, Chat Mort. Those are the people who thought the movie version of Hermione was a powerful woman. Yeah, I mean, well, at least she had more time to develop as a character rather than like Ray or. Sorry, Satsu.
Yeah, so a lot of those comments, that chick who was talking about men who want specific kinds of women, she completely ignored the fact that most of the detractors in her comment section were women who were just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" They really didn't quite understand what she was trying to say there. And also, as far as my comment went, I'm like, I simply just want a woman who treats me like I treat her, who's competent, and that's pretty much it. Like, I don't understand why this shit has to be so complicated. And to Monkey's point, I have also never heard somebody who's like, I want a woman who's career focused and has no time for me.
Right.
Like, never heard that before, but apparently she knows better than penis holders what that means. There was also a comment in there that somebody said, well, first off, not all men have penises or some shit like that. And I'm just like, what does that have to do with anything? Also, I'd like to mention that these are the current trendings on Twitter. Shane Dawson, impeach the motherfucker, hashtag impeachment, hashtag who is Piper, and the number one trending thing is Trump 2020 landslide victory.
Phenomenal.
Oops.
I'm just like, wait a minute. There's like 4 or 5 impeachment things trending here, but the number one thing that's trending is Trump 2020 landslide victory, which is fucking hilarious. And there was one more thing that I wanted to look at. I had a couple things, but
send over that thing you want me to read.
Oh, it was just an exchange of this. It was somebody saying like, women live in constant fear of rape every day, and it's a horrible thing. And somebody was like, I swear to God, I'm bringing a contract to every sexual exchange that I have. And the one chick replied, how about you stop being an N-word, like with a hard R?
Really?
And just stop raping women.
Oh, shit.
And I'm just like, like, wait a minute.
Wow. Wow.
Like, holy
I went from
shit.
0 to 60.
Yeah, I was scrolling down. I'm like, whoa, where the fuck did that come from?
Send me that. I want to see that.
I gotta find it again. That's why I had to read it out loud, because I'm like, I gotta locate it again because I scrolled away from it. But I was like scrolling down Twitter and I saw that shit and that fucked me up.
Fucking Christ.
But yeah, in the better interest of time, a lot of the other stuff is just kind of standard shit. So we can move on if you want to, Scribe.
Alrighty. And people are saying I'm cutting out again. So like, I don't know, guys. I'm just pausing dramatically or something. But if I'm cutting out, I haven't touched a thing on my microphone, on my OBS. As far as my computer's telling me my internet connection's fine, so I don't know. If I keep cutting out as we go into question time, let me know and I'll just take a powder and let somebody else do questions. I don't want to.
Yeah, if need be, I'll read them. That's no problem.
Well then, guys, it is question time. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, conspiracy theories, complaints, if you believe that Elon Musk is the most important person on the planet, As you know, we all should believe that. Please put your questions in the chat now. If you have questions for us directly, please put plenty of chat marks after those. If you have statements for us to consider, statement marks after those. If you don't know what those are, watch and learn. Ebony Williams, physical book, ebooks, or audiobooks?
Physical.
I prefer physical, but I do like audiobooks to help me fall asleep.
Physical for sure.
Books are for losers.
Fair enough.
All right. Toasted Network, Scribe, what is your opinion of me being 120 away from a subs? Congratulations. Well, premature congratulations, I guess. That's one way to promote yourself. But hey, 1,000 subs, dude. Oh, that's pretty good.
1,000.
I know I'm not going to sound like an asshole when I didn't even know that Toast content.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know how there's 1,000 subs in there.
Okay. Oh yeah. I mean, like I say, premature congratulations. Tack Alpaca, Scribe, what flavors of goldfish do you usually eat? Classic cheddar. That's about it. I don't really go for anything else. Let's see. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Scribelight, Ranting Monkey, you guys always talk about leftists getting triggered so easily, yet you are getting triggered by a little girl speaking. Well, we weren't that jazzed with the mini Ocasio-Cortez being used. I'm not that jazzed with Desmond is amazing or any other child being used as a front for political agendas or anything else. So I don't know about triggered. It just seems to be a very disturbing pattern of behavior by people, both sides of the aisle. So.
Can somebody look it up and find the last time I actually said something was triggered?
I don't know. I feel like that's a cop-out response. That is like the laziest kind of response that I get from people who have really nothing of substance to say. They just want to like judge you for something because it's just like if you say anything that's not, I love everything that this child is doing. They're just like, oh, you're triggered. I'm like, no, I'm not triggered because of what a child is saying on the screen. I'm simply saying you should not use kids as political tools, regardless.
Real quick. Thank you, Cryptic. Best musically inclined dinosaur? A raptor.
That's
Thank you, Cryptic. Go ahead, Sinatra.
It's because the right made triggered into a meme, and they're trying to take it because they can't do that themselves.
I get that, but this is Scribe with your video on Andrew Yang. You're finally getting to understand what it's like to be monkey, and this comment is a great example of it.
But I haven't fallen down the stairs yet, though.
Not yet. Believe me, it's coming.
Okay. Whoa! Jesus Christ!
It's inevitable.
I think he's saying he's going to push you down the stairs.
I know. I was like, holy God! I gotta keep an eye on my back. Okay, go ahead.
Monkey, what's up with that YouTube response? Jesus Christ.
On Twitter today, when I tweeted out about Greta and how you shouldn't use children, Losar, another one of my nut swingers, came in to tell me, I don't remember you saying this about Soph. Like, motherfucker, I did. I said the same thing about Mini AOC. I don't remember you complaining when I did it. And then he's like, oh, well, I think I remember our conversations. I'm like, we didn't talk about it. I didn't say it on Twitter, dumbass. I cannot tell you how many times people tell me what I say that I don't say. And it's not like there's not thousands of hours of me actually giving my opinions out there.
Yeah, it's all you got to do is watch the content. But people, they don't know shit about us. They don't watch our content. They'll see one thing and they'll be like, here's my assessment of you as an entire person. I'm just like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I've had more than a few sort of instances like that with the Yang video where it's like, you did this and you think this and da. It's like, well, I never said anything about that in that video. Have you looked at my channel at all? Or... Yeah. All right.
They have not.
Okay, guys, chat jumped on me, so if I missed your questions, please just. Marvelous, what do you guys consider to be the best sequel or continuation of a movie slash series slash anime that's better than the original? Now, Empire Strikes Back,
Empire.
Godfather Part 2.
Yep.
Yeah, Godfather Part 2 and Part 1. There's a super cut of that movie out there somewhere where they put it in chronological order, the whole thing.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And so they do all the flashback stuff from Godfather Part 2 as its own thing, and then merge in the stuff from Godfather Part 1 and Godfather Part 2, all in chronological order. That's really interesting. Although I still think there's absolutely nothing wrong with the way that it is naturally.
No, it was actually a really good way to do it.
Yeah. Show the parallels between Michael and his father and everything. But yeah, those are the first two that come to mind. As far as I don't know, what do you get? Natros, Satsu, you get?
Go ahead, Satsu.
No, I can't really think of anything. So.
I gotta go with the same Godfather Part 2, the Star Wars one. Godfather Part 2 was amazing. Godfather Part 3 didn't happen.
Oh,
well, just don't get
You
me and
missed an
Polly
obvious
talking
one.
about that.
we missed an obvious one there, Scribe. Winter Soldier.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I mean, although the origin story, the way they did the origin story of Captain America, I really do appreciate, and it's really like it. Winter Soldier's
the
a better.
first was a great film.
Yeah, Winter Soldier's a better overall action movie and fun movie. But I think it kind of falls slightly.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Missed an obvious one.
That.
Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
I hated that movie.
Yeah. I could see that. It was more entertaining than the first one to a lot of degrees. The first one has so many iconic moments. What I was going to say is that the Winter Soldier, the way that it is as compared to the first Captain America, it's almost, I know this sounds weird, it's almost its own in a different genre, because the first Captain America was so like, I don't know, swashbuckling and everything else, and then the second Captain America was a fall back to like the conspiracy theory movies of like the 70s. So it almost seems like it's out of a different, but I guess that was kind of the point, you got the time period.
Well, that's actually how I feel about Terminator 1 and 2. I get why people like T2, but for me, it just ruined the experience because Terminator 1 was so gritty. And then T2 is such an obvious Hollywood movie. Everything's clear and bright, and they're driving down the sunny. No, I mean, Terminator was a gritty fucking movie. And I love that. They did kind of the same thing with Lethal Weapon. While I love Lethal Weapon 2, the grittiness of the first one is what I loved about it.
Yeah, there was
the Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, good one.
Certainly, Dark Knight is you can just almost forget that Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises ever existed. Just have Dark Knight by itself. Dark Knight is probably next to the first Iron Man, one of the best comic book ever made that really encapsulates the character without a whole lot of other heavy lifting. Thank you, Blind Press. Lords of the Night chat rocks. We have our rings now, and I'll be putting the honeymoon deposit down tomorrow. Yay!
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, guys. Again, in the chat, or not the chat, the description, 2 fundraisers, one for Blind Press and her wedding, and one for Sean Uli to help get him out of the nursing home and go home. So take a look at those when you get a chance.
I'm looking at a list right now of the top movie sequels. Can you guess number 1? Just take a shot. It is nothing we've mentioned.
No. How's that possible? Gotta be some millennial list.
How about what's that dance movie?
Nope.
Go ahead, but I got
to Pokemon, the first movie.
Or what?
It's Aliens.
Oh, you know what? I know a lot of people hold that view, so that's not too surprising.
Aliens isn't as Aliens. It's the same thing you're talking about. Terminator, and it's not. It's the first one was just so gritty and so groundbreaking, and the next one is so polished and just action movie thing. I don't remember. I like Alien. There's a whole lot of quotable stuff in Alien. It's a fun movie to watch. It's not as good as the first one. by any stretch of the
And Mad Max Fury Road is on that list too.
That, well, okay, as
It's
compared
above Batman and Star Wars.
to, okay, Mad Max Fury Road is compared to the very first Mad Max. Sure, but Road Warrior is still bad fucking ass, and it doesn't. Yeah. Okay, get back to questions, guys.
Sorry.
Otto Winter. Oh lords, what you think about the trend of soda pop flavored cakes?
Ugh.
Oh, I heard it. Somebody said there was like a Dr. Pepper cake.
Yeah, they asked you about it last night.
Yeah, that's what it was. They'll make a food product out of any other kind of food product, so it doesn't surprise me. I'm not going to rush out to try to have it.
I think it sounds weird. Eat regular cake.
Let's see. Delve Zero Scribe Light. Has Satsu seen the anime Fire Force and the controversy of a female character having her clothes burned off every time she fights?
I've seen Fire Force, and for some reason, man, it's a cool show. Like, it's entertaining, and but it has it for some reason. Like, whenever I'm watching an episode, I just kind of space out sometimes, and I have to like go back and be like, "What the fuck just happened? Did I miss something?" It's good and it's interesting, and it's a concept that I don't think I've seen before. But I didn't see that controversy. I know some people were upset about some of the female characters in the show because this one chick or whatever, apparently her passive ability is whenever she's around dudes, like unfortunate sexual shit happens that she has no control over. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. But I don't know. People are always mad about shit, so.
Gareth Calhoun. Have you guys seen that Bob Iger in his autobiography confirmed that George Lucas didn't like Disney Star Wars? Outline. That's been known for quite a while because he had all these like drafts of where he would have taken the story next and everything, and Disney said to hell with it because they completely reset everything. They tossed out all of the lore that people had built up over years with the novels, all the legends and everything. Disney was the worst thing that ever happened to Star Wars. I had such high hopes. You know, when Force Awakens was first, this looks so cool, and it was like, it's okay. Really fucked up the bad guy. Of course, last, and then Rogue One came out. It's like this. And then, like, oh, I hate. I'm not liking Kylo Ren as time goes. Last Jedi, and I'm like,
I don't think anyone liked Kylo Ren.
yeah, there was a lot of potential there for him to be a really, depending on how they did it, of course, right? But J.J. Abrams completely undercut him as a villain, throwing a temper tantrum, and the stormtroopers stop, turn around, and walk away in a comedy bit. You don't make your villain the punchline to a joke. Okay, dark humor can happen around him. You know, like when Darth Vader chokes Admiral Ozzel to death, and then he field promotes Piet to Admiral right there, and Piet's like looking at the dead guy and like, okay. There's some dark humor there, but Darth Vader was not the butt of the joke. Anyway, I could go. Richard Art, oh lords, how do you confess your feelings to someone without making things awkward, especially if the friend?
You don't. You keep it bottled in forever.
Yeah.
Embrace the awkwardness.
That's it. I mean, there's no other way to do it. It's I wouldn't. I mean, depending on the situation, I wouldn't do like some kind of grand gesture as an opener, like here's a dozen roses ring kind of thing. But just when you're sitting there, just be honest with them, and if it's awkward, show your awkwardness, because just be you. I know that's difficult to do when you say it's easier said than done, but if you know them, if you care about them, and they know you, and you just tell them the truth. I obviously can't guarantee what the outcome will be, but I'll tell you what, if there's one thing, my life at least, I've always regretted, not having said what I wanted to say when I had the opportunity. You can't turn back the clock on that.
It's hard to open yourself up like that, to make yourself so vulnerable to another person, But also think about it. What's the worst that's going to happen? They go, no, not interested. Fucking go for it.
Well, a lot of people get caught up in trying to, or turn it almost into like an ultimatum where they're just like, this is how I feel, so it's this way or no way. And it's like, no, it's not really the approach you want to take. You just let them know, like, hey, this is at the risk of, this causes some kind of, weird rift between us or whatever. This is how I feel. I just wanted to let you know. I'm more than happy to still be friends if that's what you want. But this is how I feel. I'm just putting it out there. Because, being straightforward is the best way to go about it. Just don't make it an ultimatum. Don't be like, hey, we're either going to be together or this friendship is over. That's
Grand American. Okay, I'm not quite sure how Twitter works. All these people saying hashtag Trump 2020 victory trending is a result of bots. Isn't them using the hashtag helping it trend? Well, yes. Bots might have, I have no idea. Bots might have been the foundation for it, but everybody that's complaining about it is effectively adding to the pile, so. Let's see. Shadow Sonata. Is that is that a Hyundai model? If they had him striving to become the next Darth Plagueis instead of a soy-drenched Vader wannabe with daddy issues, Kylo Ren would have been one of the best. If they had gone forward with that whole Vader worship thing, first off, not making him the butt of the joke, not having him remove his helmet until he confronts Han Solo at the very end of the movie, which would have been much better. I don't know why they had him take off his mask. I'm also still not sold on their choice of actor, Kylo Ren. Adam Driver's a fine actor and other things, but I was just like, that's the offspring of Princess Leia and Han Solo. Yeah, and if I have to assume whatever J.J. Abrams had in mind for the second movie, that Rian Johnson just swallowed and then shit out and then was probably way better in continuing the whole idea that there's this Vader worship cult with the Knights of Ren and all this stuff. Didn't happen.
It couldn't have been worse.
No, not well. No, from what Rian Johnson did, no. Absolute sacrilege what he did to Luke Skywalker. Of all the things in that movie to complain about, there's tons. The most cardinal sin of that whole fucking thing is completely throwing away the character of Skywalker. Yeah, he's not going to kill his dad to turn to the dark side. Oh, but my nephew, yeah, no problem.
Well, he, who played Luke? Mark Hamill, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was even on record saying that it's not a good choice for his character.
Oh yeah, he hated it. He signed the contract, so he had to do it. And Rian Johnson, like I said, they all signed the contracts before all the movies were finished. Rian Johnson given carte blanche. He threw out what the plan was. But yeah, from the first minute, Last Jedi, I knew they'd ruined Luke Skywalker. When he threw that lightsaber over his head as a joke, punchline, I knew it was not what you did. Moving on. J.R. Lockhart, did you know you missed Wrath of Khan for your sequel list? Wrath of Khan is better in a way than the first Star Trek movie, but the first Star Trek movie's kind of grown on me over time because it's like a Star Trek episode, not an action-packed thing. It's contemplative. Yeah, certainly it's slow. It's not a J.J. Abrams production, but if you had to think of how you would take an actual original series Star Trek episode, stretch it out into a movie, that's what it is. I don't hate it as much as
I hate that movie with a burning passion in my heart.
The last one I saw was the first
what's
one
that?
In the franchise.
Okay, one of you have to talk and the other one has to stop because neither of you came through.
Go ahead,
Sinatra. Say what you got to say.
Okay. The last Star Wars movie I saw was the first one of this franchise.
We're talking about Star Trek.
Oh.
Wrath of Khan is not Star Wars. What? Okay.
I've never seen Star Trek either.
Okay. Monkey, what were you going to say?
I'm not the biggest fan of Wrath of Khan. I think it was a decent movie, but it went on for too long, and it's a product of its times. It did not age well if you watch it these days. But the motion picture, if it had been just a single episode and they cut out, the 40-minute nerd masturbation of slowly going across the Enterprise in space, it probably would have been okay. But what it is so awful.
People
The
saying-
story itself is good. The story that they had there, but it's a half-hour episode that they stretched into a 2-hour movie.
Oh my god.
People are saying that I'm quiet again. I don't know, guys. I've tried turning up my gain. I've tried turning up volume on OBS. I've changed nothing from the last 7 or 8 broadcasts where things were sounding fine. So I have no idea. If I'm really that bad and I'm screwing up the broadcast, like I say, I'll take a powder. But it's like 10 minutes.
Hey guys, you want to hear a funny Sarah Silverman tweet?
Real quick.
It's about the Greta girl. That's her name, right?
Yep.
She says, "You think you will recognize Jesus when he comes back? I see him all around. He is this girl, and y'all don't even see it."
I need a link to
Right.
that tweet, please.
Frosted Glass, but Scribe, isn't subverting expectations inherently good regardless of the results? No.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a link to that tweet as well, because all I've seen for the past day and a half was Sofane talking about how it's not a religion.
I'm already on it.
Okay.
People are trying to get me to talk about some guy named Jack Gunsky. Everybody's, why are you so quiet? I don't. Mr. Moo, are you excited for the new Zombieland movie? Well, the first one was kind of funny, I guess, but I wasn't as rabid a fan of it as so many other people.
Yeah, I'm interested in it. Like, I'll watch it, but I don't think it's going to be as good as the first one.
I feel like I have to say no on principle.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the opening part of it, and I remember the Bill Murray part of it. But other than that, I don't know why it deserves a sequel. I know it made a bunch of money, but also, how many years since that thing came out? Good guess.
Quite a while.
I was a fan.
Crimson Tiger, Lords, do you all like trees? My reading assignment is all about trees. I like trees because they provide shade and oxygen and that nice soothing sound when the wind's blowing through the leaves.
Chat, click that link at your own risk. I apologize in advance for anyone who sees what is behind that link.
Sanguine, Scribe Light, rather than talking about Jack, you could talk about the minions. I could. What should I say about the minions, Sanguine? Because, if you're going to shill something, you got to put it... And that was me making my voice quieter, guys. That wasn't audio. Unless you guys... everybody seems to be having a different experience with my audio tonight, so I have no idea. It might be YouTube. I don't know. Let's see. Assassin of the Grey. I did not like hashtag not Michael Cera in Zombieland. Oh, because it was what's his name? Lex Luthor. Yeah,
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg. Who is have you ever seen him in interviews? He's kind of actors are.
Yeah. Said the same thing about Joaquin Phoenix, but he's a fucking amazing actor.
No, I mean, yeah, some of the best actors are completely nuts. Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis. I was about to say, it's like when he's not acting, he's a cobbler. But he gets the right script, gets the right director, and he can be anybody and anything at any time. Big chameleon.
Did you guys see Hot Ones with Shia LaBeouf?
No, I don't know.
Oh god, that dude's nutty.
Oh yeah, no, he's off his gut.
And he's also a shit actor, so he doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I mean, what happened to He Will Not Divide Us? What was the last sighting of that whole shindig?
I don't know, but the only clip I caught from that Hot Ones thing is him talking about a story of him stealing chicken from an Illuminati meeting.
What?
Okay. The Eufio answer. I think Scribe's voice sounds heavenly tonight. All you hater are jealous. Heavenly? I haven't had that adjective used before in regards to my.
Oh, heavenly scribe.
Oh, heaven. The Renovatio also says trees also hit you and kill you in a storm. Trees are not your friend. They just want you to think they are. Is this the happening? Is Mark Wahlberg going to show up all of a sudden and like try to assure me that nothing crazy is going on?
I think I'm the only person alive who didn't hate that movie.
I thought it was weird and funny unintentionally in places, but then after The Village, I really lost all faith in M. Night Shyamalan to be able to direct an interesting movie. Because The Village, I guessed the twist to The Village within the first 10 minutes. And then he tried to subvert that at the end. I'm not going to care about spoilers. So my first thought, as I was watching the movie, I was like, okay, the joke has to be that this seemingly archaic town is actually in the present day. But my first thought I was watching was like, but there's got to be airliners that fly over. That's got to throw them off, or helicopters or something. So, and that doesn't happen during the movie. So I'm like, okay, so maybe that's not the answer. What else going on? And then, of course, with the worst fucking writing ever at the very end of the movie, the M. Night Shyamalan cameo is to explain to the audience how it was weird when they redirected all air traffic around this place. And I just wanted to shoot myself in front of M. Night Shyamalan. Like, oh, fuck yourself. I was like, I didn't have any faith in him after that. And then, of course, Split came out, and I like that. I haven't seen the latest Unbreakable movie, but... Motto Winter. Oh, Lords, would you try ethically supplied panda steak? Can there be such a thing?
I don't think that exists.
Let's see. Gareth Calhoun. Will Amazon's forthcoming billion-dollar epic Tolkien Lord of the Rings era show hamstrung by social justice politics, do you think? I'm going to say probably.
Of course.
And as far as I know, it's not a retelling of the other stories. It's stuff that takes place in the grounds or maybe some minor stories. I don't know. But they're spending a lot of money. Angry Illinoisan says, you are not wrong, Scribelight, with the Hobbit cartoon being better than the real-life version. Yeah, the Hobbit trilogy just sucks. It was supposed to be 2 movies because there was only like 2 books in the Hobbit series in the real life. But they decided to stretch out into 3 for some reason. Biggest mistake ever. You could have done it in 1 movie. The cartoon version certainly does. You'd have to cut out some of the subplots and things to make it work, but then you don't have to have every detail or side thing or mention or have an extended version. But yeah, no, the Hobbit movie. Well, I only watched the first 2. I
got bored after the second one.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any of those either.
I couldn't bring myself to watch the third one. I still haven't seen it because it's like there's no point. The story of the Hobbit was pretty much dead or done at that point. And it could have been wrapped up in 1 movie, and it certainly could have been done in 2, but they went far. The original movies I think are great. They're still great. They were the Star Wars trilogy of their era, and then Peter Jackson made the Disney trilogy of his era with the Hobbit movies, and saw the result.
Real quick, guys, I know, like, we're almost done, but did you guys see that story about that 22-year-old like little person who was apparently posing as an 11-year-old that some people adopted?
Yeah, there was
yeah.
it was a real life orphan story or whatever.
Yeah, and the person was trying to like kill them.
Okay, Sanguine. Scribelight, the usual. We are live 30 minutes after Lords of the Night. I am keeping tonight, as in the keeper of the minions of the zoo. And we will just be chatting and having a lark, as is standard, some food talk, random topics, perhaps a rant or 2, etc. Okay, guys, well, if you're bored of Jack Gunsky for some reason, and why wouldn't you be? We talk about them all the time. You can also go over to Sanguine's, look up Minions of the Zoo on the YouTube machine, and they have a dedicated channel for their show. 30 minutes after this, they started as an after show for this show. So they're kind of like our redheaded bastard child, sort of. I don't know where I was going with that, but that's just the way it is. But anyway, guys, it's the top of the hour, and thus the end of the show. Time flies when you're talking about everything on and impeachment. Chat, thank you so much for joining us, as you always do. All the new visitors and the Sinatra adherents, thank you for joining us. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though our chat is the most well-behaved in the entirety of the YouTube sphere. Everyone who donated, both either to myself and certainly to either of the fundraisers in the description, to Sean Uli or to Blind Press's wedding, thank you so much for your generosity. Myself and everybody else, can't tell you how much we appreciate it. Remember, guys, tomorrow night, per usual, will be on Monkey's channel at regular time with our collective Schadenfreude, fingers crossed that the whistleblower report and the transcript of the phone call are nothing. Not because I love the Republicans and Trump or hate the Democrats inherently or anything else, but just because I can't help but love Schadenfreude. Legitimate. And guys, if you haven't already, go check out Sinatra Says.
Thank you.
On some odd chance you have no idea who he is or what he is, just look up Sinatra Says. Look for that little fedora-wearing guy, and rest assured that he's not a male feminist, despite the fedora. And yeah, so as a segue, Sinatra, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Insight and commentary. Monkey and Satsu, thank you for joining me as always.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Oh, and then Squeedus shows up.
Squeedus says goodbye.
Bye, Squeedus. And per tradition, I'm pulling out my copy of Screw the Roses, Send Me the Thorns, The Romance and Sexual Sorcery of Sadomasochism. Don't read it while you're watching videos of chimpanzees mating. And a random word today. Oh, okay. I guess so. Today's secret word is curve. Yes, I agree. Completely.